And welcome to Commissioner in the Car. My name's Dustin Zarni. I'm the Democratic Elections Commissioner for Onondaga County. It is Tuesday, August 24th, and I am very happy to come to you today. I'm actually not in a car. That is evident by my background because my car is having minor maintenance done today, and I was off today, but I didn't want to not do a Commissioner in a Car because of the historic nature of today, August 24th. Governor Kathy Hochul has been sworn into office. She is taking over the term of Governor Cuomo, who has resigned in somewhat of disgrace with many allegations of sexual harassment and improper conduct in the workplace. And that's all I'm going to say about that because this is Kathy Hochul's day. And she was the lieutenant governor, is now the governor, and really has really taken a nice inaugural speech here at the beginning of her term to welcome us as New Yorkers to her administration and to lay out really some incredible differences that she has to Governor Cuomo right off the bat. So I'm going to go into that. I'm also going to talk a little bit about what I think this might mean for elections in New York. Now, a little programming note before I go into that. Candace Lockett was supposed to be on this program with me today. She's our inspector coordinator at the Onondaga County Board of Elections, but as this was a different and historic day, I decided that I wanted to speak solely about this and answer any questions that you might have, but mostly talk about the inaugural speech. And it was a great inaugural speech. It wasn't something that was, grandiose, or it wasn't, full of flowery rhetoric that may be remembered, in times of memoriam. But it is a speech that has sent some signals that Governor Hochul is going to be different than Governor Cuomo. Now, speeches are one thing. She has to deliver. But in her speech, she laid out right at the beginning a masking mandate for schools across New York State this fall. This will take pressure off local governments, although Onondaga County, I'm going to give credit where credit's due, did have a masking and vaccine mandate for teachers and for schools this fall. So I'm going to give credit to Onondaga County for acting. But there are a lot of communities that have not acted. And now, with the power of state government, she not only is protecting children here, but and following the science is clear. Masking mandates work, vaccines work, and if you're not going to get vaccinated as a teacher, you're going to have a testing regimen if you work in the schools. This is a proven mitigation factor to stop the Delta variant and to stop all the other variants of COVID-19. But it's a step that Governor Cuomo was unwilling to take. He was putting the decision on the local governments. And that was, whether that was a response to the scandal that had enveloped his administration or just something that he had decided that he would do, it was a confusing and a worrisome lack of action. And that is something, as a parent, I am very happy that this masking mandate will be in schools. The vaccine mandate for teachers and students, along with a testing regimen, will be part of the the mandates going forward when we go back to school in September. This is important. I'm glad she's doing it, and it's a step that is different than Governor Cuomo. Another thing that she came right out for was to fix the landlord relief bill and the tenant rent relief bills. There is money in the New York State government from the federal government to give rental relief to those that are still affected by the COVID-19 epidemic. This money is there and has just not been distributed. And this is on Governor Cuomo and his administration for whatever reason that money has not flowed to the tenants or to the landlords that are have people in these in these situations where they can't pay their rent because they've lost their job, they're on extended unemployment, or even off unemployment, which will be happening very shortly in the next few weeks. Something that's not talked about as much. The extended unemployments are going to end, and when that does, we're going to have another crisis of what to do with people that have been displaced and not working, or working at a lower level than they've been working before. So again, another big step away from the Cuomo administration. And she also outlined a pretty extensive sexual harassment and training regimen for New York State workers. Now, I'm sure the devil's going to be in the details on that. She only outlined that it would be in person and not click-through video training, which I've gone through as well. And so, as a county employee, we have our own sexual harassment training, but it follows a lot of the New York State requirements. So it'll be interesting to see how that is implemented. But that is a culture change. And it is a culture change that I think is badly needed. So in three very significant ways, Governor Hochul in her inaugural address really outlined many ways that she is going to be different than Governor Cuomo. And she is the first female governor. As I've noted before in this program, it is a shame that our first African-American governor and our first female governor came as a result of a white male involved in scandal that had to step down as governor. It is I would love to see us elect these leaders on their own, but for representation purposes, I know a lot of people in my social feeds and my news feeds are very happy to see a woman in charge. Not only is she in charge, but she has appointed as her top aides women as well. And also one of her governing partners, Senator Andrea Stewart-Cousins, is a woman. And, of course, Assembly Speaker Hasty is male, but both of them are African American. So we are seeing a very diverse, different leadership team in New York. One thing she did not do today, and I kind of expected it, but I kind of understand why now she didn't do it. She did not name a lieutenant governor as of yet, at least not in her inaugural address. And I guess that's to keep the focus on the policy changes that she is putting in place to combat homelessness and COVID and the culture of harassment in Albany. Those were her three main topics, and I guess she wanted to keep the focus on that, and I guess I agree with that. She also didn't mention elections, but I didn't expect her to. However, I do have some thoughts on how I believe she will be for elections in New York. As you know, I'm the Democratic caucus chair for all of the elections commissioners throughout New York State, and I have had to deal with Governor Cuomo's office through the COVID crisis, but also just leading up to that as this massive change has gone under New York election law. And while he has been, in theory, a governing partner and an election advocate, there were a lot of things behind the scenes that people were noted. That we've had some difficulties. Mr. Cuomo was not a fan of the election boards or election administration. In fact, one time he said that election administrations have enough money. Whether he was referring to New York City or everywhere else, it was unclear. And I actually had a very strong response to that when it happened in 2019. It was when the state legislature, for the first time, put money into the budget to help fund early voting throughout New York State, and Mr. Cuomo's budget department was not releasing that money in a timely manner that would allow us to spend in 2019 and to expand early voting. This was a problem, and I believe, part of the culture that many people spoke about, that Governor Cuomo wanted to do it his way, and that is his prerogative as governor. But it didn't always lead to partnerships, especially on the elections level. Also, Governor Cuomo, last year during 2020, he was great in enacting reforms that would help voters using his executive powers to do so. I give him a lot of credit for that, but he wasn't great at dealing with the administrative portion of that, and giving us a heads up before he was doing it. I remember many times I and other statewide leaders had to watch his press conference to see what he was going to do on elections that day, so we could then scramble to accommodate that. There wasn't always a heads up. And part of that was the nature of the COVID crisis, but also part of that was the not having a good working relationship with the state board of elections and also with the local boards of elections. I have a hope that Governor Hochul will have a better working relationship with boards of elections on her end. It's going to be a lot of the reforms have already been put in place, and there's a few reforms that are going to be taken into account over the next few years. That she's going, if she's in office that long, she's going to have to deal with. So I hope that her experience as a local governing official will give her the ability to know that she has to build partnerships with boards of elections who run these elections and give them the resources that they need to run them as well. I believe she, as a former county clerk, she understands this greatly, and I think she'll put a team in place that is going to understand that. And I'm really excited for this new direction in New York. I really believe that she did exactly what she had to do over the next 72 hours to set out some real definable policy goals that are in place that she can start enacting right away, and laid them out very clear what she plans to do. And now it's up to the people surrounding her to help get that done and get that in place. I was impressed with her inauguration speech. Again, it wasn't something that I'm gonna, play over and over again when I'm looking for political rhetoric, but it was serviceable, and that's what we need right now in New York. We need to have a good transition here, where Governor Hochul does, lead us through a very dark winter that is about to happen with COVID-19 again. And she also mentioned about getting the vaccination rates up. She also mentioned about, having a more transparent administration, dealing with FOIL requests. I know a lot of people in my Twitter feed that are probably celebrating over this because FOIL requests are so ridiculously arbitrarily lengthy in getting information out of the New York State government. If she can deliver on transparency, that is not something that the average person is going to care about, but it's going to make big differences in the average person's lives. Because if there is transparency, then there is accountability. And if there is accountability, we have better government. That is something that I've always stressed. So I think transparency at state government is one of the things that, brought Governor Cuomo into problems in the first place with the nursing home scandal. Not so much the deaths that were caused there, because many of those deaths were unavoidable, because we were dealing with a virus that we didn't know how it reacted. But the covering up of the deaths were reprehensible, and that is not something that you want to see happen. So again, another thing that he's already setting herself aside from the Cuomo administration. Again, she has not named a lieutenant governor, or at least at the time of recording. She has not named a lieutenant governor, so I'm, I don't know where that's going to go. Uh, she has said that it's going to be somebody from New York City because she's from upstate, which is both good for the governor and good for government, and also good for her political future as well. Again, she will serve in this position until the end of 2022. However, in 2022, she will run for re-election. I believe she's already announced that she's going to run for re-election and to serve a full 4-year term on her own. And there is no term limits in New York State for governor. In fact, many people felt that Governor Cuomo was going to run for re-election next year, as he has a well-documented $18 million campaign fund, and he still can. He's not impeached. He has not been stopped from doing that. And if the people want to put him back there, then that's the power of the people, unless there's an indictment of some kind coming. So that is where that is. So I don't really see any questions in the chat. But obviously, if you're watching this or listening to this on post live, please feel free, put some comments if you want, and I'll try to answer them as much as possible. But in recap, Governor Hochul really had a great inauguration speech, set some real changes in what the Cuomo administration was doing with her new administration, mainly masking and vaccines in schools, the rental assistance program, getting that moving and helping out people that are affected by COVID, and transparency in government. Which is a big thing that's a change as well, and a robust and change in sexual harassment training throughout New York State, in New York State government. So these are big things that she decided to come out with. She has not named her lieutenant governor yet, but I expect her to do so in the next day or so. And on Thursday, when I'm back here for my Thursday Zoom with Zarni, hopefully by then she'll have named her lieutenant governor, and I can talk about that, or I'll talk about it on Sunday. So, and recap, she gets to choose whoever it is. There is no Senate confirmation on that. It is whoever she chooses, assumes lieutenant governor for the rest of the term, and you assume will be her running partner in next year's election, although that is elected differently at the primary. So there's still a lot of things up in the air, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Thank you for tuning in to this quick Zoom with Zarni, Commissioner in a car, but not in a car. And tune in on Thursday when I'll be talking to the Lysander Town board candidates, Will Stoll and Kevin Rode. We talk about their run for town board in Lysander, and then on Sunday we have the Claytown board candidates that are running for Claytown board. So thank you very much, and stay safe. Wear a mask if you're indoors, and if you're going to the New York State Fair, remember to wear the mask indoors at the buildings. It is required, although there's been some talk about perhaps it not being as enforced as it should be. I did see Larry Sharp, governor's candidate for Libertarian Party, inside the building taking pictures. I didn't see it myself. I saw the pictures without masking, and for some reason, Libertarian Party has decided that masking is akin to whatever. I mean, it's just ridiculous. We've already gone through this in the 1900s with the Spanish flu. Masking works. It's a good mitigation, and yes, the government has a right to require you to wear one if you are interacting out in public. So wear your mask if you're indoors at the fair. It is mandated. It is not mandated countywide yet, although 100 new cases of COVID came about just over the weekend. It's while their deaths and hospitalizations have been lower this time around, it is still there. So I'm wearing a mask indoors. And also remember, if you're taking an Uber, or a Lyft or a rideshare or going on public buses or airplanes, you are still required to wear a mask in those facilities by law, by New York State law, and by policy of those companies as well. So respect your riders and drivers and wear a mask. All right, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and congratulations, Lieutenant Governor, now Governor Hochul, on your ascendancy. And I'm proud to be a New Yorker under you, and I hope that your administration will shine and give us the leadership that we need. Bye-bye.